Hi everyone, welcome to TGIF, another Friday, another episode. All of us are living in interesting times where hybrid work has become a reality. All of us expect location independence and return to work is happening as we speak. So in these times, if there's one aspect which has to be given utmost importance is inclusive meetings. So to talk more about it, I have my guest today, Naresh. Naresh is technology solution leader at Microsoft focusing on modern work. Naresh, welcome to TGIF.
Thanks, Sandeep. Happy to be here.
Wonderful. Naresh, quick question. I mentioned inclusivity. I think inclusive meetings are something which all of us have to strive to make it happen, right? There's a role of technology here, there's a role of software, hardware, etc. So tell us more about what's your take on inclusive meetings and how to make it happen.
Great. I think it's a very relevant topic in the world that you're staying today, which is hybrid world.
Right.
So if I have to think of inclusivity, I think all of us as corporate citizens have been doing it in some form, right? We all have been coached, trained, or maybe by a natural muscle, we know how to behave in a meeting.
Right.
I think this is very easy for and very natural for most of us when we meet people in person, but it becomes a little challenging when people have to meet remotely and not to in a hybrid setup. So that's actually where I think the technology plays, and Microsoft is really investing a lot to make meetings really, really inclusive. Just to give examples, when people join remotely, they need to feel that they are part of the meeting, as if they are part of in the same room that the others are belonging to. Now, if I have to look at from the other way side, like for example, how a person who is in the room can think of the other person, in terms of inclusiveness. So think like there are 10 people in this room, but the other side in a traditional meeting, they can see only one video with all 10.
Absolutely.
Really, even not recognizing who is the 10th person in the corner of the room. So that's why we're bringing technologies like IntelliFrame, where I can really lay out all people in the same room despite having one single camera, so that the other side can see everybody in the same frame. And that's one notion of inclusivity.
Perfect. In fact, Naresh, as you rightly said, the intent is to make sure it's inclusive. Now, as you see on the screen right now, this is a meeting where basically there are 10 people in the room. And for other side, for people who join online, they get to see 10 different individuals, not one frame of the video. That's what is inclusive you're talking about, right?
Absolutely.
Wonderful. So that's great. In fact, Naresh, one more aspect I've witnessed in reality in our briefing suite is front row experience, right? So the same use case, 10 people, and typically what we see is 10 different tiles of individuals' faces on a large screen. Imagine we're sitting and it's difficult for us to look at who is who, and all the time you have to, if you're standing it's great, but if you're sitting it's difficult.
Absolutely.
So I think you want to throw some light on front row experience?
So front row has been a journey of different learnings that we have done. For example, very small nuances like people who are in the room, maybe there is a debate happening, there is a very strong point of view and conversation happening, and somebody on the other side wants to share a point of view, and he never wanted to shout out, but maybe he just want to just put a chat. So I can see that chat bubble without disturbing the entire view that I see. That is one way of inclusiveness. Now, from these small learnings where I know that, okay, there is a content, there are a set of people that I should see in terms of whether the people are seen and whether people are heard. And at the same time to look at the reactions, look at the comments, what they're bringing in line or in context the conversation. I think that's where the whole front row experience comes in. So think like you have a focus on and center, which is content, the entire bottom with multiple videos, people, remote people who are in place, and which is surrounded by agenda, notes, tasks, and the conversation that is happening on the side. I think that's a great way of really being part of an inclusive meeting.
Naresh, with shifting gears, one of the cool announcements that I heard is Microsoft Places. Now, yes, we have connected workplace right there. Throw some light on that. What is it all about?
So, while the hybrid work is really gaining momentum, there are a lot of challenges also coming up, right? For example, hybrid world is great because I can work at my own place, like home, with the ease and comfort that I always wanted. At the same time, when I want to come to office, maybe it's the connections, the energy that I get by meeting co-workers like, the way we are meeting today. That has been a great example of why people would like to come back to office. But often we have seen when an employee comes to the office, he or she is getting an experience of what we call as a commute regret, which means I came so far, but I hardly see anybody. So then the question comes, what's the significance of a place called office? Why shall I come to office? That's a digital and physical divide what we are trying to kind of bring together through a solution like what we call as connected workspace. So Microsoft solution for connected workplaces is called Microsoft Places.
Okay.
Just to give few glimpses, for example, I can do some hybrid bookings so that when I go to the particular app, I can see for next 1 week how my other co-workers are opting to work. We also have an option called intelligent bookings.
Correct.
So intelligent bookings is something where I can figure out whether I can find a place next to my co-worker.
Right.
So maybe I'm more productive because maybe we're working on the same project.
Right.
That's another way of figuring out the best place for me to work whenever I'm in office.
Brilliant.
More importantly, while it is sending signals to the co-workers, there are a lot of signals and insights being fed to the employer as well.
Got it.
For example, on a particular day, if the footfall is higher,
Yeah.
maybe I can open up the entire space.
Oh, yeah.
On a particular day, if the footfall is just 50% or 40% of expected, maybe I can shut down 1 or 2 floors and just operate on 1 floor. Now, one nice thing which also I have seen is something called serendipitous meetup. Now that is something personally I like because, for example, after a long meeting, if I want to take a break,
Right.
and I want to give a signal to my co-worker saying I'm off for a break. If anybody else is fine for a
Join
coffee,
me for coffee, yeah.
for a coffee or a
Yeah.
water cooler conversation,
Yeah.
I can just create this serendipitous meetup meeting, and others when they get signal, they can just opt in, and maybe voila, in some few minutes, all of
Wonderful.
us there just having a nice conversation, beyond work.
Wonderful. Naresh's story really well told. In fact, what I love about the places is how I can signal my colleagues who are in office that I'm taking a break so that they can join me for a conversation. I mean, that's a reality. All of us need that, right? So honestly, thank you so much. This is truly a pleasure hosting you and great story told. And future definitely is connected workspace. And as Naresh rightly said, be it intelligent booking or serendipitous meeting, I think that's essential component of how we can succeed as we go forward. So Naresh, thank you so much once again. And for all viewers today, thanks for joining us. Have a wonderful Friday. Keep watching TGIF and have a great weekend ahead. Bye-bye.